Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final assessment. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
Today, Season 2, Episode 11. Perfect time of year. I is for IRS.
Doom, doom, doom.
We got our
those
taxes. I got my taxes done early this year. But for the rest of you, you're a couple weeks late. So you might want to ask for your extension if you have not already.
I mean, if you don't pay your taxes, we don't want to know about that.
That's not my problem.
Yeah, it's not an issue we need to know about.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sheryl and Leland. So are we supposed to understand this as some kind of youth? Whatever this thing is, a side effect of it is to make her look slightly younger.
I mean, all I can think of is they're trying to explain it to her like it's the fountain of youth and she just dove for it or something. I don't get it.
Her leg is clearly getting infected at the infusion point. But she keeps picking up these dudes.
Yeah.
And it looks like, they're in for sexy times, but then she drills into their heads.
Yeah. I had a couple different thoughts about that.
I had a lot of thoughts about it.
I mean, that's a whole different way of saying I got drilled last night.
I mean, I guess theoretically this could go two ways, because if you drill into somebody's brain, you could kill them.
Yes.
Or you could just lobotomize them, which is also terrible, but...
Which is she trying to do?
I don't know. And they're making a point of showing close-ups on her face, which her skin appears to be more elastic.
And then that one time when she's pulling up her thigh highs, like going past the infection so nobody sees it.
Sometimes I feel like this whole Sheryl thing is all just sort of like an impressionism type of thing.
Yeah.
Which we're not really supposed to understand everything. It just gives us the idea. It gives us the broad strokes of evil,
Yeah, but it gives us so much hope for her. We want to like her so much.
Yeah. Speaking of wanting to like people, so it's David's 18 days until, as Ben says, until you're cooked and you're never going to get laid again. And
That's
Kristen,
one way of putting it.
This was so funny because Kristen's like, I hear priests do pretty well. And she's like, oh, that was a weird thing to say. on many different levels, that was a very weird thing.
Yeah.
So they've been called in by Father to have a meeting with the scariest woman they will ever meet. This is Miss Siona from the IRS. And this is amazing. We get the pop-up book, and there's lightning crashing, and 1040s popping out.
Yeah, it was great.
It was good. What it is the IRS wants them to investigate this place called the New Ministry of Satan, which has applied for charitable status as a church.
They just want tax exemption. We get the 4 things that any church or any place filing for exemption as a church needs to meet, which it has to be organized to worship a deity or deities, that net earnings cannot inure to one person, they cannot be engaged in illegal purposes, and cannot be political. And Kristen's like, really? Yeah, and Monsignor kind of makes a face at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not touching this
one.
And they have to, like, a creed and a history, literature, place of worship, blah, blah, blah. They go to building that they say is their church. This guy, Graham, who I guess he's the main operator. He's not a priest. He's not like a satanic priest or anything, so who knows? They go talk with him. He claims that he knows Satan. David asks him if he believes in Satan. He's like, I don't believe in Satan. I know Satan. He describes, makes sense to me. And basically, he's addressing this towards David.
Yes.
He's keeping Kristen out of it because Kristen's being all surly and I don't believe in all. So in the front office, there's a t-shirt business. They make these very funny devil-themed t-shirts. In the back, they have a statue of Baphomet that they're very proud of. I mean, Leland would probably be like, oh,
yeah,
I just cut off his head. Services are Friday at 8.
They say they've doubled their
congregation. And Ben's like, okay, so how many people did you start out with?
6.
Now we have
11.
Yeah, awesome.
I just thought that was weird. I was like, that could be considered a congregation.
I mean, they did double it, almost. He wants to know what their creed is. It's the standard, do what you will, but don't harm anybody, destroy your enemies, and look for your reward now. And then he has this very casual prayer to Satan, like, oh, Dark Lord.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, right?
Very ridiculous.
Yes, it's very obvious that this is a scam.
Yes.
And he's like, well, it's no more a scam than the Catholic Church. I'm like, look, again, David at one point, he's in the next couple episodes, he gets to this point where he's like, every time I take up for the church, something ridiculous happens.
Yep.
And I feel like this is the position you're putting in. Stop making me take up for the church, because now you're making me take up for the church.
Yeah.
Whatever. The Catholic Church has its problems, but no, you're slightly more of a scam than the Catholic Church. So Leland's at the Catholic Church with David. And they're meeting about his spiritual condition. Now, this exorcism is going to be a 3-night ordeal. 6 hours a night. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's just to clean them.
Well, now, because Leland's like, well, then what? At the end, what? Just so goodbye? And it was like, well, you'll be clean or you'll be dead. That's the way this exorcism ends.
We hoped for dead.
We hoped for dead. And David takes this pamphlet he got from the Satanic Church, and he kind of sits down across from Leland, and he's like looking at it, very pointedly. And Leland's like, what is that? What is that? And David's like, oh, yeah, just
checking it out.
Checking it out.
Tax exemption time.
Leland grabs it, and he's like, this is blasphemy.
He is so mad.
Okay, because in fairness, the presentation of this place is basically like the average moody teenager that just, I want a cool shirt and sex and whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want. And Leland's like, no, Satan is about power. And blah, blah. All right, little man, settle down. Andy and Kristen are back in therapy. Okay. Talk about, girl, pay attention to how you are presenting. Because Andy asks her straight up, are you sleeping with someone? And she's like, no. And he says, not Ben. And she laughs.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I am not sleeping with Ben. And then she says, not David. And then pause. Girl!
Read your room.
Read your room.
But.
You're not sleeping with David. She say, no, I'm not sleeping with David.
But she had a good reason for pausing, because Burning Head's standing behind Andy.
Okay, but you've seen him before. Okay? Answer the question, lady.
But she does end up telling Andy that no, she's not sleeping with David. In her mind, she wished she was.
Well, sure she does, but she's not physically doing it. So.
No.
At Leland's exorcism, they say something about the Blessed Virgin, and Leland's like, do you really think Mary was a virgin?
He's got the weirdest voices right now.
But these voices are legit. There's no way this is Leland doing voices. These are legit voices.
Yeah.
It's a long night. David invites Kristen to the next night of the exorcism. She's like, why would I want to be there?
and David has a good point. At one point, Leland actually launched a priest across the room.
Right. And he knows that Kristen knows about hysterical strength. The famous example is a mother lifting a car off her child.
Yes.
And she's like, wait, let me get this straight. Do you think Leland is taking the exorcism seriously? David's like, no, but I think God is, which is a great answer.
Yes, it was a great answer.
Yeah. So they're with Monsignor. They have a recording of this guy, Brother doing the satanic gospel. It sounds legit, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like a real thing. Their idea, after they've seen the t-shirt shop, is because the church does not want this place to get tax exemption, because that would legitimize them somewhat, and they don't want that. I understand. Okay, I'm not saying I agree with the church, but I understand their position.
Yeah.
So David and Ben have said, well, we can use the income thing, because they have this t-shirt business, but it's all going to this Graham guy.
Yeah.
Right? This is not like a nonprofit situation. Right? But they have this recording that sounds legit of the gospel now. So I guess we got to go fucking check out the service, right? So they get there, and it's all these hot altar girls. And David's like, yeah, if we had those at the Catholic Church, we'd have better attendance.
He's like, yes. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. It's Bishop Jim. Jim. Yes. Bishop Jim, Graham says, Bishop Jim, you're doing a run-through or an audition for
of the service.
But Bishop Jim is the guy that's recording, and Graham calls him the Sister Amy of Satanism.
Yeah.
David is wearing his St. Christopher medal, and Bishop Jim's like, well, why St. Christopher? David's logic here, I think, is unassailable. I think he kind of took a little bit of what Leland said to heart about Satan being all about power. And David's logic is, well, St. Christopher, who, as the story goes, actually was a follower of Satan, until he realized that God was more powerful. And then he turned over a new leaf and he began following God to the point where he got terrible things done to him. One of the terrible things he got done to him was having hot metal rods inserted into his anus, yes. And Bishop Jim makes a point here too. I mean, there's like, everybody's making good points, right? David's points like, well, even St. Christopher, with all his problems, even in the end, he understood who was going to win.
Yeah.
And Bishop Jim's like, okay, so look, I'm just asking you, man to man, look, answer me, be real. Would you rather be the guy getting hot metal up his ass, or would you rather be the guy doing it? Okay, if those are my only two choices, yes, obviously I'd rather be the person doing it, but I'd rather not be involved in the situation at all. Yes. Do I have to be involved? Do I have to be doing anything with metal poles and asses?
Yeah.
Must I? Must I?
Yeah.
So, all right, shoot back with, well, I mean, obviously I don't want the metal poles up my ass, but hey, do you want to be the person getting your metal pole up your ass for, 10 minutes here on Earth and then going to paradise? Or do you want to be the person getting the metal pole up your ass for eternity? Because here's the important thing about this. If they are legitimate, if this particular church, there's many different understandings of Satanism. The model of it was theistic Satanism, which is Satan as an actual entity that they are worshiping. And it's within the framework of Christianity. So the ground rules and everything, we all understand it is the same. So in that model, if you're all in the same understanding of the universe, yes, that's a silly question. Obviously, I don't want the metal pole up my ass. But
yeah.
I don't want it for 10 minutes. I definitely don't want it forever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have a position on any of their positions. I'm just, from a pure logic standpoint, they're talking past each other. Meanwhile, Graham is working on Kristen. He's like, women have power. We don't like, the Catholic Church, they demean women and they make them nuns. And Kristen's like, okay, but like every woman I've seen since I've walked in here is half naked.
Yes.
So what are you talking about? She knows it's a line,
And he says, Satan loves female sexuality.
Yeah, so obviously this is a scam, right? It's just people wanting to be horny and get free money. That's all it is. Which is fine. Look, man.
Do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. The system is set up to allow this kind of bullshit to happen. And you can judge these people for it. And I think that's fine if you want to judge these people for it. But, the old take the beam out of your eye before you worry about the speck of dust in your brother's line.
Yeah.
Right? At home, Kristen is getting a new medication. Because when she saw the fire-headed demon during her session with Andy, she kicked Andy out of the room afterwards. And she's like, Kurt, I'm tripping. Please give me more drugs.
Tripping without luggage.
Yep. Okay, so she's going to go to the exorcism. Andy's going to go back to Colorado the next day. And he wanted to hang out and have dinner with Kristen. She's like, but I can't. I already told
got an exorcism.
That guy I'm not fucking. I already promised him I was going to do a thing.
Yeah. I gotta go to this exorcism.
And so he's not getting dinner tonight. At the exorcism, Leland pukes. I don't know if it's actually crawling, but Kristen thinks it's crawling.
Yeah.
And it's really gross and gnarly. So she runs out and goes to this bathroom, which is huge.
Yeah.
And there's a frosted glass wall.
Yeah.
But she goes in there and she starts like pulling her stuff out of her belly, and this weird squirmy thing falls out. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And she has the same reaction. What the fuck is this? So she runs out to her car and she kind of regains her composure there.
Yes.
She goes to a bar, and who is there but Graham?
Demon boy.
But he admits here, he's like, I don't believe any of this bullshit. I know you don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't she though? I think they said when they were introducing them here earlier in the episode that Kristen's an agnostic, Ben is an atheist. I mean, she probably doesn't believe in this guy's bullshit, but
yeah,
she believes in something.
Yeah.
She's not even going to small talk this guy. She's like, all right, let's go. And he's like, where are we going? He's like, we're going to go to the car and have sex. And they get in the car, The first time she did this a few episodes ago when she went to the bar, she said to herself, next time, I'm not going to leave.
Yeah.
So she's not going to leave. She takes out the car. She barely gets the car door open. She's like, lower your pants.
She takes off her panties.
Very bossy.
Yeah, she's very bossy. She holds his hands down, won't let him touch her, but she is just going to town.
She is going to town. They cut from this car sex scene to the train going through the arch on the L train over their house. This is great.
And she's
sitting in her car.
Like, she can't believe what she's just done.
Yeah, she's brushing off her seat. And so I'm like, yeah, that sounds like you just kind of brush off. You're going to have to get some armor all in there. Yeah, sorry, girl. That's
yeah. That's not a brush off situation.
Yeah. And she's out kind of by the shed, and she's putting her underwear back on, and Sheryl walks out and sees what's going on. And Sheryl is like, no, look, this is what you do. She's like, you go take a bath, and then you take a shower, and then you wash all the water away, and then you bag up your clothes and burn. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. She didn't kill somebody. She just had to say, okay, maybe, yes, take a shower, clean out your hooch, and throw away your underwear. And don't forget the wet spot in your car. I mean, I don't know why she's doing all, like, Kristen's like, how do you know this? And Cheryl's like, well, it's the same thing I did when I came home to your father. That's a fucked up thing to tell your child.
Yes.
But also, this is a lot.
Yes, it is.
I mean, take the bath, and then I guess take the bath because, yeah, we don't need to explain. But take the shower, and obviously you're going to rinse the shower out. Why burn the clothes? What is happening?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
It's not like Andy's going to go do the laundry and sniff her clothes. I mean, get rid of the underwear. Yeah, I think get rid of the underwear. That's reasonable. Yeah. But the rest of it, I'm like, okay, hey, Mom, then, can you take care of my underwear for me? I got to go back in. When Kristen gets in the shower, she gets up later. She goes to bed, takes her shower, gets up later, and like starts scrubbing the bathtub. Like, it's crazy. Sheryl, in the meantime, I thought, Kristen's going through all this stuff in her bathroom. Sheryl gets a call from Leland. He is crying and shaking.
It's hilarious.
He's like, I need help. Bring me root beer. She's like, why should I help you? And he's like, I will give you Edward. You know, I'm like, what happened? I don't even want explanations anymore. Just bring the man his root beer and whatever. It's fine. So Kristen's unwinding here. She goes to Kurt the next day. She wants to know, like, who are you? Who do you work for? Are you sleeping with my mother? And Kurt's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, paranoia wild.
Yeah, and then she walks out. She's like, we're done. She walks out, and he picks up his phone, and he's like, all you hear him do is like, yeah, we gotta talk. And she comes back in, and she's like,
I told you who you working for.
And he's like, it's my wife. Want to see?
I wasn't sure if I believed him at first either.
So Sheryl at Leland's house, he believes he's being hunted.
She puts him in a blood bath.
Yes. He's got jars of blood.
And gives him root beer. I want to know, how is the root beer making him better?
I'm a root beer person, so root beer makes everything better.
I mean, I like root beer here and there, but I just didn't know. It can even cure the demon.
I'm not going to trash talk root beer because I love root beer. But I think the choice of root beer in particular, just because of the connotations of like root beer floats, and it feels like a kid's thing almost. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just to kind of show us that for all his bluster and all these terrible, horrible, disgusting things that he does and this power he seems to have, he's kind of a small man. Our trio and the IRS lady, they're blowing up the tax exempt thing. They're like, it's all a scam. Just sell t-shirts and not have to pay taxes. And here come Bishop Bob and Graham. And Graham's like, hey, there's a conflict of interest going on here because Kristen and I did the thing, and you can actually go check her car seat because I know she didn't get it detailed yet. This slow head motion of David.
He's like turning his head towards like, her.
Ma'am?
and Ben is kind of trying to like side eye her, you know. Like, am I sitting next to somebody that had sex last night?
With him? With that guy? Are you serious, Kristen?
And she just starts laughing.
Yes, she's like, you're insane. This is ridiculous. This is stupid.
She's like, I would rather sleep with Satan.
And funny on several levels, because Bishop Jim, very seriously, he's like, Satan's not done with you. I'm like, okay, first, one, everybody knows you're a joke right now. Yeah. Nobody is scared of your threats of Satan.
Nope.
But two, if you only knew
what's going on in her house,
you are the least of her fucking problems.
Yeah.
Like, her mother's ex-boyfriend is currently taking a blood bath. Oh man!
But I love it when she's like, "I'd rather sleep with Satan."
The look on Graham's face too. He's like, "I mean, did you think she was going to admit to that?"
Yeah, really. And you just saying it happened doesn't mean it happened.
It doesn't mean it happened. Oh, night 3 of the exorcism. Leland is back to his old self.
Voice is going crazy.
Yes. And Kristen's having a hard time. She goes into the bathroom again, and she is just in pain. It's pretty terrible. So it's clear that exorcism's not working on Leland anymore, but it's definitely working on Kristen.
Yeah.
She gets up. This reminded me of a short story I read a long time ago, but I don't know who wrote it, so it doesn't matter. So exorcism's over. Kristen comes out of the bathroom. She seems to be okay. Leland is claiming to be a new man. The exorcist gives Leland his rosary, which I'm like, it's infuriating because how can nobody else see past this guy?
I know. It's crazy. He tells him to pray every night.
Pray every night. I think this exorcist just wants to be done with the whole thing.
Yeah.
We get Kristen and David. I guess you get hungry at an exorcism, and they're eating. They're snacking on the car. And she wants to, like, could an exorcism work on a non-believer? And David's like, yeah, of course it could. But, okay, yeah, because David believes it's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter. The person's subjective belief does not matter.
And she's thinking of it as a placebo.
Right.
But it's not, because placebo, I mean, that usually goes towards medication and stuff, and an exorcism isn't like...
Well, a placebo is just anything. The placebo effect is the idea that it's a subjective experience. So your subjective belief is important. Like if I take a sugar pill, but I believe it's the real pill, does it have an effect on me?
Yeah.
And this is like, well, it's a, if I believe it's a real exorcism, does it affect me? The answer to David is no, because the exorcism is not a subjective thing. It's an objective thing.
Yes.
To Kristen, the answer is, I mean, yeah, it would work if I believed it. That's her question, because she's like, I don't believe it, so would it work? Well, yeah, obviously. Of course, then it's a cycle, because if you didn't believe it, but it still worked on you now, do you believe it?
Yeah.
Which she admits at the end, yes.
Yes.
But she realizes while she's talking to David that Andy's getting ready to go, and he's at home, and Cheryl's like, hey, your Uber here, get the fuck out. But he doesn't. He stays and waits for Kristen to get home.
And when she gets home, he's in the backyard with a little bonfire going.
So there's something called a fire puja.
Mm-hmm.
You write down the thing you want, purified, dip it in butter or margarine. I'm pretty sure that margarine won't work. Margarine's not. I think Andy got that part wrong, but you dip it in butter. But I don't know. I'm not Buddhist. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you dip it in butter and then you toss it in the fire, but if there's a person's name on it, you got to circle their name. Otherwise, I guess something terrible happens to them.
It's the person, yeah.
Who knows what Andy wrote on his? Kristen writes on hers, I cheated on Andy.
Yeah.
And she throws it in the fire.
And he's like, we burned our sins. We can have a fresh start when I get back.
What was your sin, Andy? What'd you do, Andy?
Mm-hmm. How many of those tours were not just tours, Andy?
Andy.
Yeah. And then we see the burning head in Leland's bedroom.
Okay, so what was this? This thing was, because he's like, oh, hey, how's it going? So, okay, was this a thing that he had set to Kristen, or was this a thing that was hanging around Kristen, but now, after it got exorcised from Kristen, Leland was the closest thing that made sense?
I don't know. It made me think that too. But I think this is the thing that during the exorcism got
torn away from Kristen.
Because we didn't see it until they were dealing with that one little fire starter girl. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the exorcism took it back to Leland and it was originally a Leland thing.
I don't know. I think it could go either way. I think
Yeah.
it could go either way. Because I think Leland just knows who all these things are.
Yeah. You know, I mean, he's probably a high-ranking demon.
Is he? I mean, is he a
I
demon?
don't know.
I don't understand how this works. Because if you're a good person, and you're a really good person, you can be a martyr or whatever, but you can't decide that you're going to be an angel, then do some things and you become an angel. But you're saying that a person could just say, hey, I want to be a demon, and then do these things and like, no, I'm a demon.
I don't know.
Because Leland is an actual human being. He was born to a human mother.
We think.
Maybe. Well, he was in the marching band.
I think that somewhere along the way, he really wanted something like to stop being picked on, and he sold his soul to the devil, and he moved up the ranks.
Yes, we don't want to just be normal. Don't do that.
No. Who the hell wants to be normal?
I get frustrated of all the non-answers and all the big circles that get drawn between plot points and things like that on the show. But I really do appreciate how batshit but still grounded this show is.
Yes.
I think a lot of shows just go batshit and it feels silly and it feels they feel like the pick-me kid at the front of the class. But this show gets batshit, but it all kind of feels like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
I'll go with it. Yeah. Yep.
I think it's because some people believe that this is the way the world actually operates. So you get the real sense that you're seeing somebody's reality. It might not be yours. It might not
But
be
it's somebody's.
It's somebody's reality. Yeah. Which is kind of terrifying. That's the scariest part, is that somebody could watch this show and be like, I don't understand. This is just how the world is.
Who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, great episode. We're getting near there. We got 2 more episodes.
Yes.
We're in for a wild ride. We'll talk about the episodes when we get to them.
The next 2 episodes are crazy.
They had a big effect on me. I could not shake them.
Yeah.
After watching it the first time, they stayed with me for a long time. But anyway, so we're going to do that. We're going to 2 more episodes.
Yep.
Then we're going to have a little break. But in the meantime, we'll be doing Deconstructing the Dark Passenger, which is our podcast about Dexter. And we'll be continuing with Outside Food and Drink, which is our movie podcast. May is Giallo month. June is Getaway month, which we're going to take vacations to some dark-ass places. So yeah, come check us and join us for that. We'll have all our links in the show notes if you want to drop us a line about anything that you've heard in any of our podcasts, but this one in particular, that's great. And we will be back next week with Season 2, Episode 12, D is for Doll. And until then, yeah, I do not like this episode. I mean, I like it, but
She doesn't like dolls.
I don't like dolls. Anyway.
Later.
Later.